This stuff here, Yerushalmi Orlah, in the article Oz V'Hara edition, we're on Mem Aleph Rav at Halacha Zayin, which is the fourth line down, corresponding here to Mishnah Yud. And in the Vilna, we are on Daf Chaf Amarav. It's easy to find because we're beginning of a Mishnah. Halacha Zayin. Halacha Zayin says, Safek Orlah B'Eretz Yisrael also. If you have a question of whether something's Orlah or not Eretz Yisrael, it's Aser, which obviously because it's in the Raisa. The Chiddush is B'Surya Mutter. In Syria, it's Mutter, and the Chutz La'aretz, since Orlah seems to be the Rabbanan, so therefore Syria, which is Kibush Yachid, was conquered by David Melech, but was not given the full sanctity of Eretz Yisrael. So it's Mutter, or Safek is a Mutter. You're in doubt, you're allowed to use it. In Chutz La'aretz, it's even more lenient. Chutz La'aretz, Yored v'Lokech, but you already locate. You can go down into a garden where you know there's Orlah trees and buy it from the goy, from those you already gathered, as long as you don't see gathering directly off the Orlah trees. Kam should to a yerek. Now, if you have a vineyard in which vegetables are also, so there are part of it at least is also because kilei kerem. So Goy is selling vegetables outside it. Beretzel Oser, sorry, the rice of Chumra. In Chutz La'aretz, it's B'Surya, it's Mutzar, because Kibush Yachid, they're machmir a little bit, but not completely. Over Chutz La'aretz, and in Chutz La'aretz, Yored v'Lokate. You can go down and gather yourself. It's as long as you don't gather it with your hand, which doesn't seem to make sense. So the Farshim say means no, the same idea. Say for the goy goes down and gathers in front of the Jew, and the Jew can buy from him as long as he doesn't gather it with yourself. Now there is obviously a distinction here, even more cooler than the Reisha, because in the Reisha it says Vashalo Yirena locate. Here you can go down and see him be located. You can't gather yourself. Our Mishnah goes with the opinion of elsewhere appears the opinion of Rabbi Lezer, but here it's a Stam Mishnah that a Chodesh is also everywhere, both in Eretz Yisrael and Chutz La'aretz. By Orlah, it turns out it's a halacha. Issue of Orlah Chutz La'aretz is halacha l'mashmi Sinai, and that begs the question, of course. And also in the Reisha Mishnah, why is so meko? If it's halacha l'mashmi Sinai, it's like a deraisa, right? We have to deal with that. Kilayim divrei Kilakem is only us in Chutz La'aretz midrabanan, not midraisa, and all these things we explain in Gemara. Okay, and it says more ezu safek Orlah. So there's a brisa, the Sefton says. Perak Alf, Bryce Ches, what's Safek Orlah? A vineyard which has saplings of Orlah and older trees, and grapes are sold outside the vineyard. In Eretz, so it's also in Chutz Syria, it's Mutzar. So that's where it says, Ezu Safek Orlah, or Kerem Orlah, you have a Kerem which has Orlah inside, and it's not completely Orlah, obviously. That wouldn't be a Safek. There are both younger saplings, older trees inside it. Because chutzalo and grapes are sold outside of it. Beretz is also, so it's also, but Syria outside the vineyard is mutter. Rabbi Yehuda said, Avzes fake also b'Syria. No, this is also in Syria. If the grapes are ever coming from this vineyard, they're not matir such a suffix even in Syria. He's also mutter b'Syria. What's the suffix? Is mutter in Syria? Kerem she'orlah v'kerem acher b'tzido. Yes, there's a vineyard of Orlah here, and there's another vineyard next to it. And it's the grapes being sold outside it. In other words, outside, even though it's outside the Kerem of Orlah, but it's possible that the grapes came from the Kerem, which is not Orlah. So that's Osir, and so it's forbidden, Surya Mutzah, and Surya it's Mutzah. Now, there's a whole line which the Rasirilio and the Gra put in here. It should say like this: Vezu Safek Kilayim. What is Safek Kilayim? Kerem shu not to a yerek, a vineyard which is planted with vegetables. Yerek nimkar chutzalo, and vegetables still being sold outside. Eretz also, and Eretz is also B'Syria mutter, and Syria it's mutter. Now it should say Omer, picking up where it is in the Gemara. Rabbi Yehuda said Avzeh. Instead of saying Osir, it should say Sfeiko Osir. This Safek is also Osir in Syria. In other words, it's one vineyard. in which there's parts of it has vegetables growing, parts of vegetables growing. Tanakama is matir to buy out of this vineyard. Rabbi Yehuda says, "L'shitaso." No, this suffix is also us in Syria. Is a suffix mutar? What's a suffix which is mutar in Syria? Carrying to a yerek, you have a vineyard which is planted with vegetables. The the yerek and on one side, the side yerek achim. And there's another field which is completely vegetables, another garden. The field, another vegetable field right next to the potato. And vegetable inside, outside, in a manner that's possible could come from the other field. But so also in this case, so it's also B'Surya mutar, and Syria it's mutar. Okay, but Chutz La'aretz, your rate will locate in the Chutz La'aretz. The guy can go down and gather for you, as we said in our Mishnah. But actually, it could be out as long as you don't gather with your own hand. So, Rabbi Yehuda said, "Odhi bikad ma'isa." So he learned in the Mishnah that even though there's as he pointed out, the Rishon Sefer seems to be separate. He says no. Even the Sefer of the Mishnah is like the first case in the Mishnah. Yored v'lokeach. You can go and lokeach is not no yored v'lokeach uvad shlo yirein lokit. Even the Sefer, you can't see him gathering it. So our Mishnah had said only by Orlah you can't see him gathering it. Not by Kila Karen. Rabbi Yehuda says by Kila Makar also you can't watch him gathering it. You can't watch the goy. So why is Tanna Mishnah disagree? So all the Mepharshim say, and evidently it's also the Bava Kedushin Namates seems this way, that by Orlah they're machmir because it's Isur it's Aloch L'Mosh Misinai. In Kila Karen, it's only Osir Rabbanan, they were not so machmir. Okay, so therefore, Tana of our Mishnah holds there's a difference between only Kila Karen, or as we said in Mishnah, Orlah you're not allowed to watch, Kila Karen allowed to watch. Rabbi Yehuda says no, by both of them you're not allowed to watch. Hachadash Asim in Torah b'chol makom. Chadash Asim in Torah midaraisa everywhere. Masnisa Rabbi Eliezer. So as we said, this Mishnah appears elsewhere as a Mishnah of Rabbi Eliezer. In the Tzion Tamon, we learned there in Kiddushin Parakav Mishnah Tes. Any mitzvah which is not contingent on land, no hegas bars or chutzlaretz, it applies both in eretz and chutzlaretz. Any mitzvah which is contingent on the land, any hegas ba'aretz only applies to eretz. Chutz mina orla bekilayim, except for orla kilayim, which apply also in chutzlaretz. Rabbi Eliezer omer afa chadash. It says chadash also applies in chutzlaretz. The Gemara says. Matai Rabbi Eliezer, what's Rabbi Eliezer's source? B'chol moshvo seichem. Says Chodesh is also b'chol moshvo seichem. There's a pasuk. V'chlev v'koli v'karmel v'lo s'chul ha'etzem v'yomazeh b'chol moshvo seichem. So b'chol moshvo seichem means all your settlements. B'chol makom. Any place the Jews are settled. Ben baritz ben chutzlaretz. My mekayim Rabbanan time with Rabbi Eliezer. What did Rabbanan do with this pasuk, Rabbi Eliezer? B'chol moshvo seichem. It's talking about b'chodosh. Says shekain yotza b'chutz. Mean shokan sheyotza b'chutzlaretz. It's chodosh, which originates in Eretz Yisrael. It's also even it's taken to chutzlaretz, but it has. If it originates in chutzlaretz, it's mutter. Okay. So again, changing the gear so here from shekain yotza b'chutz shokan sheyotza b'chutzlaretz. Rabbi Yonah, boy, kumi Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yonah asked from Rabbi Yossi, "Lama loftein abba chali mine." Why did I mention challah here? Challah is also not in chutz la'aretz, right? The challah, perek should out. Challah is no way to chol makom. Amar lei, so he said, "Lo asinim misnei." Rabbi he didn't bring here anything. El davish Rabbi Yisrael goyim. Anything which is only brought down things here which apply to the produce both of Jews and non-Jews. So the produce of both Jews and non-Jews is in Chutz La'aretz and Syria and has parameters of Orlah, Kila Kerem, and according to Rabbi Eliezer also Chodesh. Challah only applies to produce of Jews. In other words, a dough which a Jew made, not to a dough which a non-Jew made. And as he says, "V'chal ein negas el b'Yisrael." Chal only applies to Yisrael. Dichsiv b'shisari so seichem, the first of your doughs, v'lo shel goyim, not shel goyim. For Orlah halacha. Okay, so Orlah, we mentioned before, is halacha. L'Moshe Messina, I mentioned the Mishnah. So that the Shmuel Amar ki hilchos Medina. Shmuel said, no. Hilchos, don't think it means halacha Moshe Messina. Means ki hilchos Medina. The way he's learning hilchos, it's as if it says halichos. You don't change the girsa. It says halichos, which means a custom, a pathway, not a law, not a law. Not halacha, halicha. Hilchos Medina, which means a custom. Rabbi Yochanan said halacha Moshe Messina. No, it's halacha Moshe Messina. So Rabbi Yasa Bar Yechon Rabbi Yochanan halacha Moshe Messina. V'atamar mohechen. He's going to say halacha Moshe Messina. It's first. You're going to say like our Mishnah says the suffix mutter. Halacha Moshe Messina is the raisa. The suffix mutter. Amar he said b'shah shenitna halacha kach nitna. That's the way the halacha Moshe Messina was given. In the halacha Moshe Messina, he differentiated between the status of Suffolk Orlah and Eretz Yisrael and Suffolk Orlah and Chutz La'aretz. That's the halacha Moshe Messina. Amar, he said, Rabbi Yasser said, when he heard this, you lo sokis Eretz Yisrael lishma dover zeh. If I only come to Eretz Yisrael to hear this one thing, kedadai, it would have been enough. This is such a important chiddush. And fundamental chiddush, it was worth coming there. So, of course, there were many other things there. So, would have worth coming there. So, just for this. Okay, so the Gemara goes on now to the next one, Mishnah. Probably also there's a header here. Actually, there's a header in the Vilna too. V'akilayim divrei seifim. Kilayim is the one. Shmuel Amar b'kila kerem. So this whole issue, which Rabbanan imposed Chutz La'aretz, is only Kilei Kerem, not Kilei Zoraim. Kilei Kerem, which is also in Eretz Yisrael, they were Machmir Chutz La'aretz. But Kilei Zoraim, which in Eretz Yisrael is not also Ba'anoah, it's only also to plant together. It's mutter to eat and mutter, of course, to Rabbanah. Rabbanan were not goes in Chutz La'aretz. It's important, a distinction in this, which the Levi Shlem brings down here, which is true halacha. Grafting is also everywhere because it's like Kilei Behema. It's a different parameter. Kilei Behema, husbanding two types of animals, also even Chutz La'aretz, and grafting, which is similar to husbanding, because you're grafting, so that is also even Chutz La'aretz. That's not the Kilei Zorim, which is mutter Chutz La'aretz. Other Kilei Zorim, so the Chutz La'aretz, grafting is also Chutz La'aretz. So do not the creation say of a nectarine, which is a graft of a plum and a peach, would have been also. It's not also by Noah, because Kilei Zorim, not Kilei Kerem, but it would be also for a Jew to have done that in Chutz La'aretz. I think nectarines now grow on their own trees, not sure. But originally, at least, they were grafts. Could be, I'm wrong. But originally, they were grafts. But in any event, the grafting would be Isser. It's still an Asar Noah. Other crabs, Kilei Zorim, like mixing seeds in the ground, that is not a problem with Chutz La'aretz. That's a Rabbanan were not great on the Chutz La'aretz. So again, grafting is also mean Torah with Chutz La'aretz. Kilei Kerem is also the Rabbanan Chutz La'aretz. Kilei Zorim, other types of Kilei Zorim are mutter in Chutz La'aretz. Rabbanan we're not goyzer. Okay. Rabbi Yochanan, no. Kilei Kerem, the fakir, the exact opposite. Kilei Kerem is the Zoyd Rabbanan, but Kilei Zorim also. That Kilei Zorim is also minator Chutz La'aretz. Rav Huna said, "Kanachtur me'aravya." When I came down, when the Talmidim who learned the Eretz came down. The Ma'aravia doesn't mean from Arabia here. It's from Ma'arava, from Eretz Yisrael. Ma'aravia, when they came to Bavel, Kanachnu Ma'aravia to Tamon. I think it means when they went down to Bavel. Amru Shem Rabbi Yochanan. They said, Kanachnu, when we came down from Aravia to Tamon, but probably should be Litamon. I don't know. I don't see Actually, anybody actually changed the gear, so. Yes, Rashi does change gear, so. Kanach Maravio Litamon. They came down from Eretz Yisrael. Maybe we changed Maravio. No, it just says to add Zayud actually. Me'arvaya, from Chachmei Amarav. So Kanach Maravaya, the Tamon. So not when the Chachmei Marav came down to Chutz Loretz, they Amru b'shem Rabbi Yochanan, we said name Rabbi Yochanan Kimuna, and we sustained his perspective from the following pasuk. So Gosaiti Shmoro, my laws you should maintain. Ben Chol Tarbiyah Kilaim. Your animals you should not husband kilaim to add two different species. So chalot Israel kilaim. You should not plant your field with kilaim. Beg kilaim shatnez lo yalecha. You should not wear shatnez to kilei begodim. Hikish kilei Israel kilei begodim kilei beima. There's a linkage made here in the pasuk between kilei Israel kilei begodim kilei beima. Not kilei begodim kilei beima. She'ain tluim ba'aretz. They're not contingent in Eretz Yisrael. They're not b'chutz haaretz chutz haaretz. They apply in Eretz Yisrael and chutz haaretz. Av kilei Israel aval b'she'ain tluim ba'aretz is so to kilei Azraim, even though they are contingent in, they seem to be contingent in Eretz Yisrael. They seem to be contingent in land. Nogim ba'aretz chutz haaretz. They are linked to the other these type of crime and apply both to Eretz Yisrael and chutz haaretz. So this is a sheet that's like Yerushalmi named Rabbi Yochanan, but the Bavli, actually, in Kedush Daf Lamites, listen to this Hekesh, that is the specific why grafting is also, like we said before, even Chutz La'aretz, and they're learning that this pasuk is specifically referring to because it says, well, actually it doesn't say explicitly. Because the linkage to husbanding two types of species, therefore they say it's specifically grafting. That the grafting is also even in Chutz La'aretz, as opposed to even Rabbi Yochanan's the planting of Kilei Zoim, that they were not, according to the Bavli, they are not also Chutz La'aretz, even Rabbi Yochanan. Okay, so this is the Shita Yerushalmi, that the Kilei Zoim mentioned in this pasuk refers even to regular Kilei Zoim. Shitas Bavli is that only applies to grafting, not the regular Kilei Zoim. Okay, presumably Shmuel would agree with the Bavli. Bavli and Shmuel go together. That grafting is also in Chutz La'aretz, and the pasuk referring to grafting. Okay, Chaban Azor Chaki Soren Velefes. A certain person planted his field with barley and turnips. Which are Kilei Zoim, and it was in Chutz La'aretz. Avar Chanin Guvisa, so Chanin from Guvisa passed by Vakarin, and he uprooted them. So they climbed, he uprooted them. Shmuel, and then mice came from Shmuel, also Uvdei Kumni Shmuel the Kanse. So the story came from Shmuel, and he find Chanon, because the old Kilei Zoim was Mutter Chutz La'aretz, therefore he was Mafsi the Baal Asada Shalo Kedin. So okay, well, it says here Ditani, but I wrote a say Gemara. Perhaps it's supposed to say Tani, and because it is a summer type of thing. And in any event, it is on top of Membeis Amarav, which is a very short top. So we'll leave that for tomorrow. But the point is that it sounds like Shmuel was more the Chutz La'aretz, and that we pass like Shmuel, perhaps even according to Yerushalmi, pass like Shmuel that Chutz La'aretz Kilei Zoim is mutter. And we will stop here for today.